Welcome to my today's episode on these are going to be my Nintendo Switch top 10 picks that I enjoy. Brought to you by Phoenix 1987-20. Coming in 10th is the Resident Evil Origin Collection, which is a classic cult collection. I originally played these games on Nintendo GameCube and fell in love of the style, the story, and how the game predicted with horror films. It brought me, when I saw this game coming out on Nintendo Switch, it brought me back to my early childhood days where I would spend many hours on this game as a kid. Like I said, when it came out on the Nintendo GameCube, which Resident Evil Zero, this one right here, was for the longest time a Nintendo GameCube exclusive. Resident Evil 1, this one right here, I found the difficulty really hard and challenging, which made the game 10 times better. And when I plopped that sucker into the Switch, like I said, brought back my childhood memories. So if you're into those type of games, I would go to your local retail store or EB Games, Best Buy, wherever you buy your video games. Get yourself a copy of this or download it off the eShop. You will love it. Next game is Doom. Doom for me, I grew up playing it on the PC and then Nintendo 64. So when I heard that this game was being ported over from the PS4 onto the Nintendo Switch, it was a must-buy for me. I enjoyed it. The hellish of the first-person shooting game, when you're trying to get to hell and back. The gory, the guts, the story. Even though the story on this game is tiny, it brought me back to a place where I was playing this game on the PC, like I said. So overall, this is was a must-buy for me because it brought me memories of my childhood when I used to play with my friends back in the day. The Harry Potter Lego Collection. It has all 7 films done in the Harry Potter movies done in Lego style. And if you're a big Lego fan like I am, you'll enjoy this because it sticks pretty darn close to the movies. I can't say about how if it sticks close to the books, never read them, but it sticks really well. It's a very good multiplayer game or solo player game. Good for your family, playing with your friends, just having a good old time playing a Lego game with the theme and background and style of the Harry Potter movies. Rabbids and Mario Kingdom Battle coming in number 7 for me, which is a very unique because it's a Ubisoft game starring Mario and starring their Rabbids. I love this game because it's like an RPG style because you're upgrading your weapons, but it's a turn-based game. But the storyline alone was actually amazing. It was out of the realm of the Mario games. So seeing a game like this was actually really fresh and enjoyable for me. Has a couple DLCs which are really fun, introducing more Nintendo characters to the story as well. Now, granted that Rabbit Peach there, all she likes to do in this game is take selfies of her. But overall, the game is very good. It has well done graphics, well done story, well done puzzles, well done challenges. So, if you want a different type of Mario game and you're willing to risk a difference, a change, this would be the Mario game that I would say that you enjoy the best. Coming in number 6 was Fire Emblem Three Houses. I really enjoyed the twist of the plot, being able to have multiple endings, multiple stories, depending on what house you chose played out the story of your game. Now, overall, you probably end up doing a big spiderweb ending, but at the same time, it's the type of game that once you get into the story, you're never gonna let go. It's one of my favorite RPG games out there. And if you're an RPG person and you haven't picked this game up, I recommend you go to the store, buy it, rent it, if renting's still a thing, um, and give it a shot. Just give it a shot because I believe you'll enjoy it, and I think you will. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Golden Country, which was interesting because the game came out about a year after Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, which this is a prequel to that, but it runs a beautiful art story, has many hours, and it makes the Arch Bridge connection from this one to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, really, like I said from the get go, I'm a big RPG fan, so gameplay element and story and music a big one for me. If I cannot get into a game, an RPG within the first 6 to 7 hours, I tend to put it down and forget about it. But if it's a game that catches my eye and catches my attention and catches my emotions, I tend to stick with it. And this game, for me, I could not put it down. When I put it down to go to sleep or put it down to take my kids to school, I put it down to go to work. I was rushing home to finish this story, and my wife sat beside me and watched the whole story as I unfolded the story. Now, like I said, I'm a big RPG fan, so if you're enjoying RPG fans and you haven't picked this game up, check it out. Go on YouTube, check out the trailer, check out some of the gameplay, and guaranteed you may love this game. Now, again, another one that I love was the Resident Evil Revolution collections. I first got this game on the Nintendo Wii U. Loved the story. Then when I found out that Resident Evil Resolutions, the collection that was going to have both games 1 and 2, was coming to the Nintendo Switch, it was an instant pre-buy for me. I was able to play both stories. I loved how they did the stories for it. I love how they went back to the roots on how the format for the Resident Evil series, where it was that mystery, where you had to find where was that creepiness, where it left you with a little bit of ammunition to make the game stretch, where you had to make sure your accuracy and everything was perfect, and how it entwined with classic characters, but also with new characters to tell an untold story. Now, a lot of people prefer the Resident Evil 5 and 6 because it's more of an action game. Me personally, I like that Resident Evil format that they did for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one, and Resident Evil 7. So if you're a Resident Evil fan and you really haven't heard about Resident Evil Revolutions, check it out. You won't be disappointed if you're a fan of the series. Now, next up is, I was just talking about the prequel, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like I said, the prequel made a nice arch as it ended to bridge the connection between that game and this game. Again, it was amazing story writing, amazing gameplay. The music and the flow of the gameplay brought perfect energy to the game. I never felt that it was unbalanced. I felt that it was perfectly balanced all around. I personally really enjoyed it. Again, this is my top 10 list. So, I'm a big RPG fan. I spent many hours beating a lot of different games, but I tend to gravitate towards RPG games. And I prefer them pretty much over any Call of Duty game or anything like that. So if you like a game that has a good long story with good long gameplay, again, this is a great game to play. Now, this is the Batman the Telltale series. I'm a huge fan overall of the Batman game. Really enjoyed the Arkham games that they had: Arkham Origin, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. Really loved this game. But I was at one of my local retailers, and then I saw this game. Picked it up. Had to. Had to put that sucker into my Nintendo Switch, and I saw the stuff. It was an episode type of game, but with multiple options throughout to progress towards the storyline. Would give you multiple endings, but at the same time, it was done somewhat of a comic book style, and it brought a neat, unique touch to all the Batman games that are out there. Um, I'm gonna have to place this game in a separate class because personally for me, I thought the story that they told in this was a lot better than the Arkham series. Even though the Arkham series took 4 games to tell the whole series, this one it may be short and right to the point, but it was very, to me, it was more enjoyable than any of the Arkham games that they came out with, and it was nice class, nice pace of a storytelling. Now, coming in number 1 for my list would have to be The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I grew up playing Zelda games since the age of 3. And my love for Zelda games have always been there. My favorite Zelda game in the whole franchise is the Ocarina of Time. I thought that was wall-breaking game. Now, when it came to the Breath of the Wild, I wasn't really quite sure because Nintendo never really done something like this except for the original Zelda game that came out on NES in 1986. And it was a nice, fresh, interesting take of the story and interesting take with the franchise, allowing the player to choose how they were going to proceed throughout the game, how they were going to make the game their own story, how they were going to live up to the expectation and challenges of the game. And Nintendo, you guys shocked me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys shocked me with this game. This is a giant open world game, probably the biggest open world game that the Zelda fans ever endured. For me, the music was neat because they brought a lot of classic music back, but also brand new music for different areas, different events that was going on in this game. And they even remastered and remade some of the games or some of this music within this game to give it a fresh breath of life. Now, if you're a Zelda game, or I mean a Zelda fan, and you really haven't got this to this game, you can get this not only for the Switch, but you can also get this for the Nintendo Wii U. So, go out. If you have one of those two systems, go out. Get this game, play it. You won't be disappointed. There's at least 300 to 400 hours of gameplay in this if you're one of those type of people that like to 100% the game. Now, if you want to do a speed one, apparently you can do it in 35 minutes. But if you're a person that enjoys games, enjoys the artwork of the craft, get this game. It brings new elements to the Zelda series. For me, it's one of those perfect games, and it's not surpassing my Ocarina of Time love, but it's right up there with it. So, this is the end of my top 10 Nintendo Switch games, brought to you by Phoenix 1987-20. So, if you like my video, hit the like button. If you like my channel and like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe buttons. And if you want me to do a different type of video on a different thing for Nintendo Switch, leave a comment below. If you want to give me positive feedback, leave a comment. I'll respond to you as soon as I can. Posting another video here in a few days. So I hope you enjoy my videos, and I hope you enjoy the content that I'm bringing you guys. So until then, I also have something to say. The Nintendo Switch have leaked out rumors for Nintendo Switch Pro. Now these are rumors, and they're apparently supposed to be releasing more information about this. What they have talked about is a better and bigger resolution screen. Now nobody can decode if it's going to have more horsepower under the engine. They did say something about a bigger and better battery life, and it's something to look forward. Now this could be only talks, and it wouldn't be the first time Nintendo has talked about doing a Nintendo Switch Pro, which could be very happening very likely in the first quarter of 2021. So until then, until there's some more news, I'm going to update you guys as much as I humanly can. So until then, enjoy your night, enjoy your day, enjoy whatever you're doing, and live life to the fullest. Enjoy your Nintendo Switch, and I hope to see you again on my next video. Love you all. Peace.